Number two, which choice best describes the developmental pattern of the passage? So this is the keyword here, developmental pattern. Is it a specific event recounted in detail, an analysis of small town culture, a journalistic report on a town, or a broad introduction to a character? Well, it's not a specific event recounted in detail because throughout the passage there are many specific events recounted. Here, it talks about how the character saw him for the first time. Later over here, it talks about the smash up, the accident that happened here. It talks about him getting mail. And here it talks about how some people would stop him to talk to him over here. Sometimes they would talk about how he would climb into his buggy and go. And then, there's other events where the narrator is speaking to other people about this character. So it's not really any one specific event recounted in detail. There's a number of events that happen in here, but that's not the developmental pattern, right? It's not a specific event recounted in detail. Is it an analysis of small town culture? So it's easy to understand that this is a small town here. It's actually talking about Starkfield, Massachusetts, but it's not the developmental pattern of the passage. It's not analyzing the small town's culture. The center of this entire passage, the main idea of this entire passage is not that they're just trying to talk about the culture of Starkfield, Massachusetts, right? That's not what's happening here. So that's not our right answer. Is it a journalistic report on a town? No, there's nothing here that says that it's a journalistic report. It's not written in that kind of formal language. The person that is talking about the main character Ethan Frome here is not really writing it in a format that would make us think that, okay, this is written for a newspaper or anything like that. So it's not really a journalistic report on a town. It does mention a town, it does talk about the town, but that's not the developmental pattern, right? Remember what we're looking for, developmental pattern. It's not a journalistic report, so it's not the developmental pattern, so that's not our correct answer. Is it a broad introduction to a character? Yes, this actually is our correct answer. It's a broad introduction to Ethan Frome because they talk about who he was, they talk about what happened to him in the past, they talk about how he gets his mail, they talk about what he gets in his mail, they ask about the accident, and how they talk about how other people perceive him. So it's a pretty broad introduction to a specific character, in this case, Ethan Frome. So D is our correct answer.